obviously in a great spot to win this game.
Right now, I think he's going to do the right thing here and just Lost Burn to take out Tom's only threat on the field. It's going to take him 3 energy to do it, but Tom's really got nothing to threaten him. So, hey, take the knockout, put Tom in a bad spot.
And he does have that switch in the discard pile, so all he has to do is junk arm and gets it right back.
Yep, so unless Tom can get a Typhlosion out here, he's going to be way, way behind. I already think he's a little bit behind. Could be worse, though. If he does get a rare candy, Typhlosion, and Outrageous for 30, he'll be in okay shape, but doesn't look like he's had that great of a hand, so we'll see.
Yeah. He needs a Ninetales here. I think he needs a Ninetales just as badly as he needs that Typhlosion because given his current game state, even if he does get a Typhlosion now, it's not going to last very long. So he might as well just try to set up a couple of Typhlosions. I think that's his best play here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Tom can set up soon. If not, well, Josh is set up. If he can get that King Drought, it'll be even worse for Tom. So Tom's clock is really ticking here. He's got to get something going soon, and if not, Josh is just going to steamroll him like we saw Tom steamroll Josh in the first game.
Yeah, these have been pretty one-sided games. We haven't really paid attention to that, but these have been really one-sided games, and it's just been an issue of going first and having a better hand than your opponent. And so I think that's a third Magnezone, or is that a Magnezone?
No, that's a third Magnezone. So Josh is going to be able to draw pretty much his whole deck at this point. Hasn't been able to get that King Drought yet, which is pretty surprising. Also haven't seen many supporters out of Josh besides Collector, so he's got to have a lot of copycats and judges left in his deck. So he should be able to match hand size pretty easily the rest of the game. But does he have a switch? And the answer is no.
Negative. So, a little breathing room for Tom. Maybe now he can get an evolution in play.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe Josh just has 6 cards in his hand that he can't get rid of?
Exactly. It happens a lot. You may have 3 Magnezones out, but if they draw you 0, then they don't do you much good.
So Tom is forced to eke like 6 turns into the game. Not a great spot.
No evolutions in play. Yeah.
Had to burn 2 energy to retreat his Reshiram. So this is just looking ugly.
Yeah, had Tom gotten a reasonable setup, really he'd be in great shape to win this game, just because Josh is having a hard time getting any damage in.
Yeah, but sometimes games get ugly, and you're seeing that right here. Even though it's the top 8 of Worlds, players don't always draw what they need at the right times, so unless Josh can hit a reversal here, he won't get a prize this turn, though, since the Cleffa did stay asleep, so not the worst spot in the world for Tom. I don't know.
Yeah, now we're seeing the bench Magnezone getting some energy on it. Now there's 3 energies in play for Josh, so if he does hit a reversal at any point, there's a judge, by the way. So
finally Josh plays one of those supporters.
Yeah, and that's actually the perfect time to do it, too. Your opponent just had to use this turn up eking.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, he's not going to wake up, and your opponent's going to be stuck with a 4-card hand and not a way to get back to 6.
Yeah, you just pretty much wasted Tom's turn because he used it to eke, and now he's back down to 4 cards. Unless he draws a Juniper or something like that. It's not going to be good for him. He's going to be behind still, so I like the judge. And we'll see.
So we saw communication. Hopefully he gets a Kingdra here. If he has a Kingdra here, then that's a Kingdra.
What do you know?
So yeah, if he did get a Kingdra here, then that means that he has a rare candy in his hand, and that Kingdra is exactly what he needs to do. That Kingdra is going to be able to set him up for some cute little knockouts.
Well, he doesn't have the rare candy quite yet, so it's not in play, but...
Oh, man. Nice try, Josh. All right, Cleffa does wake up, so he's going to be able to eke this turn if he needs to.
Yep.
That's Sage training.
See a Sage. Still not the greatest thing in the world off a judge. It's only netting 2 cards. Yeah. But obviously he got 1 card he needed, so...
Yeah, he slammed that card right away. Now he's got a Junk Arm, Fire Energy, and he got a plus power out of that. So there's a rare candy. Okay. So he gets a Typhlosion. That's good. And he gets a Quilava. And...
It's a communication.
Hopefully a Ninetales.
So not bad off of 4 cards.
I've seen people do better.
Yeah, the only way he could have done better is if he drew a Juniper instead of Sage, but wasn't the case, so we're just going to see him afterburner to the Reshiram and Eek.
Yeah, now Tom's back in this game. Obviously, Josh still has those 3 energies in play, and Josh still has the commanding board presence, but it's a closer game. Yeah, he's right back in it.
Yeah, this is not out of reach. You might have seen Josh's start and just figured it was over. The fact that Tom had to Eek, but a few turns went by when Josh didn't even get to attack, and he let Tom set up. He's almost all the way set up. So once Typhlosion gets going, it's tough for Yanmega Magnezone to keep knocking out Reshirams, and we're going to see him take a prize on the Cleffa, and he'll be down to 3 prizes, but can he take the rest of his prizes? We'll find out.
Now we see the Typhlosion become active for Tom. That's something that you don't see every day, but the top players do like to take advantage of every Pokemon they have in their deck, and Typhlosion's attack is not bad, especially against Yanmega Magnezone. Your opponent sometimes has to keep an energy on his active Pokemon, and that's where Typhlosion's attack deals 70 damage and discards the energy from your opponent.
And I'm not sure why Josh decided to Lost Zone the Psychic Energy instead of the Lightning, because he does play Jirachi to get back those Psychic Energy. So I'm not sure why he would let the Psychic go to the Lost Zone instead of the Lightning. He wants that Psychic to go in the discard in case he gets knocked out, or in this case, the energy gets discarded. So I'm kind of curious as to why he did that, but...
Yeah, I believe he just overlooked it. It happens quite a bit, and maybe he just had... He is low on Lightnings, by the way. He's got 1 in his Lost Zone, 2 Rainbows in his Lost Zone.
That's true.
And he's got 2 Lightnings in play. So at that point, he wanted to make his opponent have to Typhlosion. Forces him to Typhlosion the Lightning away. So he does make his opponent have to get rid of that energy, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it looks like we had a little dispute there, but got figured out, I guess. I think the judge thought Tom had already played Sage this turn, but he didn't. And he's playing a Twins right now. So Tom's going to have access to pretty much everything he could want. And he's going to discard the energy off of this Magnezone, leaving it with no energy. So Josh is going to be in an awkward spot unless he has a switch. But if you're Tom and you have the Twins, I saw a plus power in his hand already. Would you do this or just go for the knockout?
Well, you have a Typhlosion active, so...
Well, yeah, but, I mean, I don't know if he had the Twins at the start of his turn, or he drew it off of Roast Reveal, but knowing you had the option to knock it out with Reshiram, or just to discard the energy, which one would you do? Because I would probably take the knockout.
Yeah, clearly I would take the knockout as well. So he does get rid of the energy, and the Magnezone still just has 70 HP.
Mm-hmm.
Again, slight misplays. They happen all the time. No player's perfect, but at the end of the day, even though it is a misplay, he's still in good shape. He didn't just cost himself the game here.
Right, now he is still behind 2 prizes, which is why I think he needs to get these knockouts right now. He can't let Josh, draw into maybe a Junk Arm for the Switch. And then he could Sonic Boom for 70, setting up for a Jirachi knockout later. So I don't want to give my opponent an opportunity to do that, but it looks like it paid off for him, so I'll just keep my mouth shut.
So yeah, one thing I did want to mention is that Twins is the supporter of the tournament, by the way. You see Tom using it to a great extent, and that Twins really helped him out to set up and put himself in a pretty good position. And Twins, my hat's off to that supporter, man, because that support really does help a lot of people come back from behind against these aggressive decks.
Yeah, those 2 girls, they help out a lot. I mean, at the beginning of the format, that's kind of a card that got overlooked. I'm not sure why, because it was such a big factor when we had Majestic Dawn on with all the SP Pokemon. Twins was a really big card in a lot of decks, and then you just saw people not using it at all in this format until maybe right before Worlds. I just started seeing it put into a lot of decks. Mainly before it was just used in Vileplume decks, but now you're seeing it even used in Typhlosion. So, great card, and I'm glad people figured it out.
Yeah, me too. Now, I was just about to mention that I'd really like to see a reversal out of Tom here. And go figure, he goes for it, gets tails, goes for it again, gets tails. And he does kind of put his arms up in the air going like, man,
Yeah.
You know I would have had you here, right? I'm sure that's what he said.
Probably, because he could have reversaled up that Magnezone that had 2 energy and probably knocked it out with Rush Frame, leaving Josh with just 1 energy in play. So that actually could have opened a big door for Tom, but no dice, so we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. But here comes that Kandra. He finally draws that rare candy at him. Maybe it's too late. Maybe it's not. We'll have to find out. Now, at this point, if you're Josh, do you just go to try to knock out these Typhlosions slowly or set up the knockouts for them with your Jirachis, or do you have another plan?
No, at this point, I think that Kingdra actually puts Tom on quite a clock. I'm not sure which ones of his Typhlosions are rare candied, but looks like they all have at least 10 damage on them. So the ones that are rare candied, they can get hit with a Spray Splash and a linear attack, putting them at 60 damage, setting up for a Jirachi knockout. So you'll be able to see Josh get at least 2 knockouts with Jirachi eventually. And that means he just has to get 1 with Magnezone, and he should win the game. This is assuming Josh gets at least 1 heads for Jirachi with the power, but I think the ball's in Josh's court for sure.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So in that case, you're going to start linear attacking, and obviously in this case probably Sonic Booming the active. Correct?
Yeah, this turn out Sonic Boom definitely.